looking for? Nicholas, give me a name.
The movie begins in Tokyo, Japan, where we see a deadly female agent named Avery Graves at the rooftop of a building in preparation on her mission ahead. In a demure way, she sneaks into the building while also eliminating one of the security guard. She came in contact with her target and asked him to open up his safe, which he proceeded in doing so. Just then, one of his guards comes in, and a serious battle ensues. In the middle of the fight, her target tries escaping, but she shoots him. She eliminates the guard and immediately went after her target using his blood trace. More bodyguards approached, but she easily took care of them and continued her search for her target and eventually found him. They both had a brief fight which didn't last, as she also eliminated him by drowning him. The scene shifted to Zagreb, Croatia, with Avery Graves arriving at home to meet her husband named David. The two embrace each other and she also gifted her husband a gift for their anniversary. They enjoyed a lovely wine together before heading out for a walk down the street. The next day, Avery goes to her office where we meet her boss named Headland, who wanted to know how her trip to Tokyo went. As soon as they were done discussing, they both head into their secret basement, where Avery is informed about a top assassination that had happened recently, and surprisingly her organization seems not to have any clue or information about who is behind it. Anyways, Avery goes home to spend some time with her husband, but as soon as she got home, she finds her house in a mess and in shock. She realized her husband has been adopted, but by who? Almost immediately, she received a phone call from the kidnapper. Avery Graves is told that in order to rescue her husband, she would have to steal some classified documents from her CIA organization which contains some vital information about them in exchange of her husband. She is given 9 hours to retrieve the file or David dies. Avery immediately called an old-time friend named Serena, who is a hacker, as she asked for her help to track the location of her last incoming call. Serena begins to do so, but also telling her that it would take a little bit time to pinpoint the exact location. Meanwhile, Avery head back to the headquarters to steal information on Canary Black but finds nothing, before typing in a code given to her by the kidnapper which gives her a name of a detainee held in a CIA black site. Immediately she receives a text message from Serena which turns out to be the location she asked for. Avery heads to the location but finds nothing, only a ring and the cell phone. Immediately the phone rings, with the speaker telling her that she would try tracking the phone, which had just led her into a trap, as she is standing on top of a bomb. Following this, she's told to get Canary Black if she wants to see her husband alive. Avery managed to disarm the bomb by knocking it out through the window, before driving off on a high speed. The scene shifts to CIA black site, where Avery meets up with another agent named Maxfield, where she pretends that the detainee is involved in the mission she's assigned to and needs to question him. She's then taken to him, where she interrogates the detainee about Canary Black, but he refuses to talk. She forcefully began to manhandle him by removing one of his tooth in order to find it. Seeing this, Maxfield immediately rushed in, but Avery was able to take him down, as she escapes. With the detainee tooth on the floor, Avery was thought to have stolen the file, as it is believed that the detainee had the file with him. She fortunately escaped, but at the cost of the CIA tagging her a threat to national security. The scene shifts to Avery boss, Headland, who gets assigned to team up with Maxfield from the deputy director to bring Avery in. He also explained that Canary Black is a top-secret master list of blackmail material for all government personnel, as it was essentially built to keep track of pressure points which foreign government might use to flip their people into spies. He's also reminded that his name is on that file. Headland is watching a video footage from the earlier incident at Black Site, when he suddenly gets a call from his wife's cell phone, which turned out to be Avery. She informs him about her husband kidnapped and their demand for a file called Canary Black. She also explains to him that she's not with the file, as the detainee never had it. To prove she's actually saying the truth, she asked him to go check her house, as it is still messed up just the way the kidnappers have left it when they kidnapped her husband. Headland and Maxfield head straight to Avery Graves' home and found it all arranged, contradicting what she had told him. Headland still believes it's all a setup. The scene cuts back to Avery, who goes to a club, where she met with a man called Breznov, whom she asked for help on getting her the list of every foreign agent, assassin and intel broker in town. After that, she goes over to her safe house only to find out that it had been breached, as she is immediately attacked by one of the goons, but she quickly kills him. Just then, the goon's phone rings, which she picked. as the kidnapper tells her that she's really as good as how her file had said she is. Following this, she's asked about Canary Black, but she explained that his intel was wrong and there was no file in his tooth, but this only angered the kidnapper as he shows her a video of him torturing her husband. She begged for more time to get the file, but unfortunately for her, she only has 4 hours left. She meets up with Headland, who tells her about her home been very arranged, unlike what he had previously told him. He also goes ahead to inform her about Canary Black, as he also reveals to her that his name is in that file. It all turns out to be a setup, as the heir immediately surrounded by CIA agent and Avery is arrested. On their way, Maxfield questioned her about the file, but she keeps quiet without altering a word. They are soon followed up by a group of cars that chased after them, and a massive gunfight ensues. In the middle of the fight, the heir suddenly hit by a bus, causing the both parties to collide, as they all ended up having an accident. Avery then proceeds in killing off the remaining goons as she makes her escape. In the next scene, we see Avery, who meets up with Breznov, as he informs her about the deputy director being in town. Avery, knowing that the deputy director will have a copy of the file, sets out to find him. The scene cuts to Deputy Director Evans, who walks into his hotel room, but he is immediately captured by Avery, who then puts on a mute mask on him, in case he tries calling his guards. Avery proceeds to ask him for his computer's password, but he refused to speak, as he kept on giving her the wrong password, which led to the system being locked. This annoyed Avery as she begins to torture him. He eventually gives up the password, but with the system being locked, Avery contacts Serena as she asked for her help in finding the nearest security server with CIA access. She also contacts Headland, telling him to keep track of her device. Avery then meets up with Serena, who used a large drone to get her to the CIA security server building. Reaching to the server, she accessed the file linking to Canary Black. As she begins to copy all. Cut back to the hotel. Deputy Director Evans was able to get his security's attention as they all rushed in to help him. After removing the mask off his face, Evans quickly told her secretary to lock down the CIA server building, as he tells her of Avery Graves' plan to steal vital information. However, Avery Graves was able to successfully copy it, but as she tried exiting the building, she was spotted by securities who immediately chased after her. Avery was able to escape the building by jumping out through a glass window and hanging onto the drone, which takes her away. She regrouped with Serena, where she got to check the file. It turns out that Canary Black is not a blacklist but a virus which is capable of bringing down a country or continent to Stone Age. Having only few minutes remaining, she rushed towards a call center, where she will receive a phone call that will get her the location of where she would exchange the file for her husband. But unfortunately for her, she landed in an accident, which caused her the call. Before she could think on what next to do, she got teased by one of the goons, who also injects her, knocking her unconscious. Meanwhile, the blackmailer begins his mission as he goes live to leave a message and threatening all the world board directors to pay a sum of $1 billion if they don't want their country economy to hit rock bottom. He also demonstrates the power he possesses by shutting down internet access and electricity of a nearby country. The scene shifts to Headland, who went on to track Avery and brutally eliminates those he came across. But before he could reach inside the building, he got captured and was brought to meet the head of operations. During their discussion, he's killed, as the blackmailer tells his men to get rid of the body. He proceeds to torture Avery Graves and also brings her husband into the room, where he shoots him, before leaving them for his goons. Just as one of the goons was about finishing David off, he fought back with an amazing combat skill, eliminating her. Avery is shocked by this and questions him. He confessed that he works for an unknown secret service, and this was just a plan for him to get the file, but didn't plan it to go this bad. They both proceed to go after the blackmailer. Meanwhile, Avery came across Headland's lifeless body and promised to take his revenge. David went on to shut down the building electric power, and a serious battle ensues with two professional assassins facing off an entire army of goons. Cut back to the CIA headquarters. They were able to find out the location of the blackmailer's hideout as they head straight for it. Avery and the blackmailer meets on, and a battle ensues, with both opponent combat skill matching each other's. Meanwhile, in the middle of their fight, one of the blackmailer's goons managed to upload the virus to every country. Avery eventually defeats the blackmailer by stabbing him to death. but immediately noticed that Canary Black is about to lunch, as she runs towards the system disconnecting its server, thereby saving the entire planet's economy. After the fight, David approached her to apologize, but Avery, feeling that everything they ever shared was a lie, returns him their marriage ring. David tries to convince her, but she insisted, telling him that it can't work between them. With the CIA approaching, David escapes by jumping out of the building and into a nearby water, while Avery ended up getting arrested and detained. The deputy director tries threatening her, but Avery isn't having it, and still beat him up. Just then a lady walked in and approached her, giving her two options: either she come work for her organization or spend the rest of her life imprisoned. The next scene shows Avery walking out of the building, which signifies that she agreed with joining her organization, as the movie then comes to an end. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification button, because we will be reviewing other breathtaking movies and action-packed thriller, such as Classified and Jade, next week. Make sure you like and comment on what you think about this movie. See you in the next one. Bye.